flamethrower. Let's get one thing clear. I can break into HQ all by myself, okay? Sorry, that was a cough. Hello everyone, welcome to another, chapter execution Penguinronpa something or other. This isn't a series or anything. I don't know. I just feel like doing this. No, actually the reason I want to do this is because if you're in the Discord server, you know that I've sort of been, taking a little trip down memory lane and sort of sharing as much behind-the-scenes info about Penguinronpa as I possibly can for pretty much the entire series. And we've made it to Chapter 4, Deadly Life, so naturally it makes sense to have some behind-the-scenes talk about the execution for that. So I was like, hey, I did a video about the Chapter 5 execution. I should do one for 4. Why not? So yeah, I'm gonna try to be a little less rambly about it this time, because, last time I was rambling for like an hour and a half, but I think it'll be a little shorter this time, for when the execution is shorter, and also, it's less fresh in my head, because I made this, like 2 years ago now, which is crazy, whereas the Chapter 5 execution was still very fresh in my head, so I had a lot to say about it. But let's actually just get into this now before I ramble even more. That's very loud in my ears right now. I don't know how loud that is for you guys. I'm gonna turn it down, though. Get away. This is not spots. Get off. Okay, I guess I should actually talk about that. I was gonna talk about that at the end, but, so as far as the music for this execution goes, there was a point in time where I was considering having the lineman theme. You may know it from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, but it originates from, like, the NFL soundtrack or something. I don't know. But, I was gonna put that in here because it actually does have significance to Club Penguin, because it was used in the trailer for the first EPFDS game. And because the Elite Puffles are showing up and it's a very heroic sort of thing, I thought it would be pretty cool to have that music in the execution. However, I was worried that that song would get me copyrighted, so I decided to not use it, and instead I just used the Danganronpa V3 opening theme. I thought it was still kind of fitting, because it's like the Puffles, when they show up, they have their name appear, so it's kind of like a second intro, but it was the second intro before the second intro was made, so I thought it would be cool to have sort of an updated intro theme to it. However, as it turns out, the Danganronpa V3 song is one of the only Danganronpa soundtracks that has gotten me a copyright claim. Not a strike, it's not a strike, don't worry. But they've gotten the video claimed, which is, I mean, it doesn't matter to me because I don't make a cent off of these anyway. But it's just like, man, of course that one's copyrighted, you know? I don't remember if the first song here is copyrighted as well. It's called, I forget what it's called. It's like Extra Lessons for the Unlucky. It's spoilers, Makoto's execution theme, failed execution theme, I should say, from Chapter 5 of Trigger Happy Havoc, which is why I wanted to put it in here, because obviously this execution fails. So that was a little hint. If you know Danganronpa music, you'll know, like, right away, okay, yeah, Agent's gonna live. But also, man, the first few seconds of this song, along with just Monobird's face zooming out. I don't know why the player is lagging. I don't know if it's because I'm recording, but it's not very intuitive right now for me. That's sad. Oh well, but like, this shot here of Monobird's face still haunts my dreams, because I watched this execution back hundreds of times, like pretty much like every second that I finished of this execution, I would go back and watch it from the beginning. So I saw this goofy-ass grin so many times, and I just grew to hate it so much. That's honestly though, that's like the only thing of this execution that is like, the wounds are still fresh, is like, that's the only thing. I'm over everything else. This was hard to make, but like, I don't care anymore. Can't say that about Chapter 5 yet, but maybe one day. Yeah, Agent's just scared. Not much to say about that. This part, I was trying to think about, like, how am I gonna have, because I want the other penguins to watch Agent quote-unquote get executed, right? But the way the sports shop is laid out, it was like, how am I going to have them watch that and, like, not be able to help? And I just decided, okay, Monobert can just make a sheet of glass rise from the floor all the way up to the ceiling and trap them. That's just something he can do, I guess. So that's what he did, and it worked out because later in the execution, Chirp breaks the glass with her flute, so it ended up working out, so I'm glad I did it. This part, there's like a frame here where Agent has, like, no eyes. They just have pupils. That's not an error, it's just, I don't know, I thought it would be funny for the in-between frame, but it looks kind of weird, actually. I don't know, they look like a Peanuts character to me. I don't know, is anyone just me? I don't know. They open their eyes, they're all scared. Let me go back, actually, to that, the animation of Monobert tying them up, because it's kind of goofy, I think. Yeah, he just, like, shuffles his arms around. Like, he's not actually, like, I'm not actually animating Agent getting tied. I'm just, like, moving Monobert's arms while he's holding rope, and then, like, a second later, Agent is tied up. It should not work, but I think it does. So, whatever. Here, Monobert's thinking of ways to kill Agent, and they're just like the previous executions. Like, he's got the sword that killed Sensei. Here, he's of course got a bomb from Paige's execution. Boom. I like that that face Agent is making there in that shot. Go back. Yep, that's good. It's real good. And then of course the train from Rory's execution. Monobert's face there is stupid. He's got like a whoa face there, kind of. Very funny. Then he just thinks of fire and a flamethrower, and he has a light bulb moment. The cartoony trope where character thinks of something, they get a light bulb over their head. It just made sense to put Monobulb in there from Rompa and Friends. It was just the perfect reference. I don't know why Monobert settles on a flamethrower here. It's a little contrived, I guess. But I don't know. I was just like, yeah, give him a massive flamethrower. That'll work. I like the I had like a separate layer for his hand here. As you can see, it like moves to like pull the trigger. Even though I don't think I actually drew a trigger on it. It just starts going, which is cool. We zoom in again on Agent's face. That's a reused shot that I just zoomed in on and changed the lighting on. And there's the fire. All those individual flames that were drawn. And then the snowflakes. Who could those be from? Yeah, I had to. All of these were just separately saved as images, and I don't know. It works. It works. I think it works. It's a cool little effect. I like this shot a lot. This shot is cool. The lighting, I like how it's kind of flickering a bit, so it's like, I don't know, you can tell like it's still in motion happening. And I really love Agent's face here. I don't know, they look so cute, and I just love them. This shot too, we got the one half is lit with blue because of the ice, and the other is orangey because of the fire. I don't know if that's how the lighting would look in real life, but I thought it looked cool here, so I just did it like that. And Monobert's all mad. I mean, he can obviously see Chill from here, but from this face, it just looks like he's like, what the fuck is that? Like, what's going on? And I love this shot of Chill. The shading, I don't know, I really like it. What I'm not a big fan of is the actual, like, ice breath effect. It looks at, whoops, did not mean to scroll down there. That's a bit wonky, but I like Chill sort of, like, stretching a bit, right? I don't know. I don't know how to describe that effect, but it looks cool, No pun intended. Also, yeah, ice beats fire here. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, even with Club Penguin logic, because of, card jitsu, and it's like, fire beats snow. But it's not snow, it's ice, and it's powerful. white Puffle ice. So it works. And this this part's just ridiculous, man. So the fire has just like stopped at this point somehow, and Chill just completely like freezes the flamethrower, and then it starts to shatter. But like when it shatters, like I guess the whole flamethrower was just shattered inside as well. Like it's just gone. It's just gone. And I don't explain that because like why would I? It's just the convenience of cartoony logic. Like, oh, it just got turned completely to ice and then the ice shattered. And now it's gone. And look at this, like, this in-between here of Monobird's head, like, stretching out and his hands going down. Really silly how that works, but, I mean, it sure does work. I don't like how... I mean, I like the sort of angry, sort of anime-esque effects on his face right here. I just kind of wish they were moving a bit, because it kind of looks weird when it's, like, staticky. And this is ridiculous. His face here is so stupid. The way the question mark comes up kind of bothers me. It looks a little out of place. I don't know. I mean, I say out of place, but he also had freaking Monobulb just appear over his head, so whatever, it's whatever, but, like, I don't know. The question mark has always bothered me, and it's like one of the few things that still bother me about this execution, so yeah. We've got an actual background here that I drew that I didn't just, reuse from the missions. There's like, I think there's supposed to be another, oh, no. Okay, because the surfboard in the middle there, because there's like 3 surfboards on the wall there, and you should be able to see the middle one from this perspective, but the middle one is the one that Agent is tied up to. So that's why it's not there. I thought I was just being lazy here, because I remember being lazy about the surfboards, because like I remember drawing one surfboard was hard, and I was just like, I don't want to draw another surfboard. It's like this background's taking forever. I think they were like one of the last things I did for this background, and I was like, oh no, I've got to draw another surfboard, and then I was like, wait, that's the one Agent is tied to. I don't have to draw it. Okay. And also in the background we have Flare's little flame there going. I don't know how he's doing this, by the way, because the flame comes from his mouth, so you have to assume like he's just like moving up across the entire door frame, like he's like flying here. I have no idea how he's doing it. He's just simply built different, I guess. Also, this is like completely unnecessary for them to do. I feel like the Puffles are strong enough that they could just like, push the door open like normally. But no, I thought it was cool to just have them break it down. Like, I don't know, secret agent style, literally. I don't know, the effect here that I, have the door fall down is kind of weird. Because, like, I was gonna, like, redraw the door, like, for every frame. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be, like, properly animated and stuff. And I was like, nope, that's gonna take too long. So I just, like, stretched out the door and blurred it a bit as it moved, so it looks fine in motion, which I think it still kind of does. Yeah, that's fine. The shadows there, they have like a blue sort of, I don't know what you call, like blue highlights on it, but then they're gone here. I don't know. I just thought it looked cooler for this scene. It made the silhouettes more apparent for this shot because it's farther away. But like in this scene, like, yeah, those are Puffles. Like you could tell. But I do like this little motion here of like the shadows fading as they all sort of inch forward with their little round bodies. Bouncer pulling out a snowball here, throwing it at the camera. Super cool. I don't know. They're just sneaky little guys, They're just sneaky little guys, and I like it. I just like the effect of Bouncer throwing a snowball at the camera. And it's like, surprise, bitch, it's me, Bouncer. There's Bouncer, juggling snowballs here. Not the best effective juggling that I could have done, I think, but I think it works fine, I guess. That splat is so funny to me. Like, bullet, they just, like, all merge into one giant splat. Then he puts his hands up. I didn't need to add that. I just thought it was funny if he's like, ugh. Like, he tries to reach for it, I guess. I don't know. It's funny. And of course, Blast comes out. This, there's something interesting about this, right? I don't know. The cannon just kind of, like, stretches when it fires Blast. And then you can see the transition here between, like, the actual drawing of Blast here and the sprite. Very, not so subtle, but whatever. And yeah, there's Blast. Smash Brothers. Yeah, that's the Smash Ultimate sort of, when you KO, well, not when you KO, just like when you hit someone really hard that you're probably going to KO them, that sort of effect appears on screen, and I thought it was funny to try to replicate that, and I think it works. I like this, this animation of Blast, like, flipping. I think it's kind of cool. He, like, twirls his body up. I did that again in the Shadowgang Gamma Gal test bot fight, because Blast was a part of that too, so I just really like animating that. I thought it was fun. And then I like him falling to the ground and just squishing back up. Silly, goofy. Flit comes by to check out what's going on, and then he's like, he just like smiles. I don't know, it's goofy. Here he's like concerned, and then he like flies towards the camera. He's like, oh, I'm on TV or something. That's not true, but like, I don't know. It's just a funny thing for me to think about. He's cute. I like Flit a lot. And then Flit, freeing Agent here. I was trying to think of, like, you know, I wanted each Puffle to contribute something significant to this with their abilities, and for the most part, I think I did. Like, I mean, Bouncer just kind of blinding Monobert right away is helpful. Blast sort of getting the first attack. Flit, rescuing Agent is pretty useful. Also, big fan of this this in-between frame here, right here of Flit flying back. It actually works really well in motion. I like the effect of Flit actually untying Agent here is a bit weird. It just kind of breaks and then falls off. It's funny looking. But I really do like when Flit flies back to that spot. It actually looks pretty good, I think. That blink. I don't know why I thought it was necessary to have Agent blink here, but they do. And yeah. And then this part, this was, I think, reminiscent of... It was supposed to be reminiscent of, like, the actual V3 intro, because there's some sort of similar effect like this. And I remember originally I wanted to, like, actually draw... I wanted to draw each penguin individually with, like, a unique pose and expression. I ended up just reusing shots I had already had. I think it's most obvious with Gary, because, like, he's not even... Like, that's not really cropped around Gary super well. I don't know. It's... I was pressed for time, okay. But it's still not bad. It's only on screen for like a second. And, no, go back to that. I wanted to pause. I don't know why the YouTube player is so delayed right now. It has not been like this before when I've recorded like this. Yeah, whatever. And again, like, I wanted to draw the Puffles, individually here as well, but I was like, it'd be easier if I just use sprites for them. Most of these are, like, actually, like, completely unique, quote-unquote, sprites. They're not sprites because they don't actually exist. Like, I didn't save the PNGs of these unique faces. Like, Bouncer's face is unique here. I think Blast's face is unique. Pop, Chirp, I think all of them, actually. Literally all of them. Except maybe Flare? No. Because, I redid his, well, I didn't redo it, but, like, I gave him better looking up sprites, I think, and his pupils are bigger in those, and I think that's the difference. But yeah, I don't have the PNGs of these sprites, so, like, I don't know what to say. They just don't exist, except for in here. That Monobird is a unique drawing, though. I don't know. I like the the question mark in his eyes and like the sort of electricity coming off his body there, if you can tell. And that transition to Loop, I literally just zoomed in on her, in that picture, and boop, there she is. She is. I like this animation. That animation of her twirling the lasso. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, you know. And again, like Agent getting tied up, I don't animate Monobird actually getting tied up here. The rope just goes over him, and there's a little bit of rope there that just appears, and then suddenly he's tied up. And I just kind of use squash and stretch to be like, yep, that really happened. It just happened right there in the blink of an eye, and it just works, I guess. And then he breaks free. Again, it just kind of happens. It just kind of happens. His eye is like red there, which I think is kind of cool. That's a reused shot from earlier in the execution, just without the surfboard. And this punch has three unique poses to it. You have this first one here where he's just kind of getting the punch ready. This middle one where he's got like, I don't know why I decided to have his eye be black there. It just kind of looked like he was really determined for a second. It's kind of scary looking, honestly, but like, I don't know. I like it. So that's where he's kind of like getting the punch ready, and then he's going for the actual punch. It's a cool little animation, I think. Let's watch it again. Oh, but then Pop comes in with the bubble, and it just works. I don't know. Her bubbles are strong, you know? Can stop a robotic fist with ease. Chirp, honestly the MVP of this whole execution, aside from maybe Chill, of course, but Chirp breaks the glass here to free everyone else. And I think, hold on, let me go back to that. I had the actual notes. The actual notes appear there. They look similarly to how they look in Elite Penguin Force DS. And then they kind of glow as they break the glass. And I just drew a bunch of lines, and then it just is gone. Like that. That's, I don't know. That's just how I did it. Got another, did I reuse the same? No, because the first one had treble clef, so I think I actually drew more notes here. And then this, we've got some binary in his eyes here. I forget what that says. I want to say, is that error? Yeah, because the second, third, and fifth lines look to be the same. So I think it's error. And it's also, you know, only 5 lines, so it has to be 5 letters. Yeah, I like how, like, mangled his fur is, you know, fake fur because he's a robot, but, like, I like how, like, stretchy and pointy it is. Like, he's just suffering, and it's great. Flare, I think Flare was the one that I was like, I don't know what Flare can really do here. Because Flare's whole thing is usually, like, fixing things. And I was like, we don't want him to fix Monobird after he's been broken. So, like, I don't know, he just, like, attacks with the fire, and it pushes him on the ground. I don't know. It just works, I guess. And the Chill already did something, but here, Bouncer just slides or snowballs over, and Chill freezes it. And this is such a stupid effect. Like, it's just like the way his body reacts to the frozen snowball is so, like, pronounced. And the sound effect it makes. Listen to the sound effect I put in here. Like, it's just so stupid. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Here, Dot's face here has, like, yeah. There are 3 different, like, things for her head things. Drawings, I guess. One of which, this one, is only on screen for a single frame. So that's fun. But I don't know, I like the little head turn there. It's kind of cool. And we got the all-out attack.
They're the all-out attack?
I guess. Just, standard cartoon fight cloud trope thing. I wanted to make sure every Puffle was visible here. There's usually 4 or 5 actual visible Puffles at a time, and then you just see something from the other ones, Flare, Chirp, Chill, Bouncer, and Pop are mostly visible here, and then you just see a bit of Blast Helmet, Loop's Lasso, and Flit's Propeller. Stop scrolling down, please. And then this one, you see a bit more of Loop, a bit more of Blast. Damn, you don't see much of Flit at all, do you? Okay, never mind. I don't remember. Clearly, I don't remember the actual process of this, really. But you see, Flare's fire coming out. You see Pop's bubbles coming out. Chill's breath, Chirp's notes, and Bouncer's back. But yeah, there's only two shots of the fight cloud. This face is perfect. I talked about this before on Discord, but originally I wanted their faces to be like what was it? What was the quote? It was I wanted to mimic a face from SpongeBob. It's the episode where SpongeBob goes missing, right? And Sandy's trying to get everyone to find him, and the one guy leans over to the other fish, and he's like, "This is a load of barnacles." And I just wanted to have Amy's face be that. She's like, "This is a load of barnacles," because they're not used to the elite Puffles and how powerful they are. I mean, they're not as powerful as they are about as powerful as any other Puffle, but they're just confused because they don't recognize these Puffles in particular. And we've got the Puffles with question marks in the background that are moving a bit. I thought it was quirky. Those are good faces, by the way. Dot pulling out her whistle here. There's no real purpose to this, because I had a 2 lies 1 truth, right? It was a little game I played on my Instagram story where I gave people 2 spoilers that were fake spoilers, and then 1 spoiler that was a real spoiler, and they had to figure out which was real and which wasn't. And Dot's truth at the time, it didn't change. Dot's truth was Dot will end up putting Paige's whistle to use because she had the whistle. She got it back in Chapter 2, and I knew she was going to use it here. But the thing is, it really doesn't matter because she doesn't need to blow this whistle, honestly, because I don't know. It's just a cool thing to get the Puffles to all gather at the end. Narratively, it really doesn't serve much of a purpose. But I don't know. I thought it was fun. This code, I do not remember what this one was. It was something along the lines of no, I can't believe I was outsmarted. Those Puffles shouldn't be there. I think it says how do they get there in here somewhere, which is a callback to Agent's Code. I don't actually remember though. That's a great animation for just blowing on the whistle. And then this shot, this pick goes hard. This pick still goes hard. You see everyone sort of pop out behind Agent, and it's just the EPF. I thought about having trying to fit Sam and Amy poking their heads out behind the counter or something, but it just didn't work. Also, you may notice there is a silhouette of the EPF logo in the background there. I don't know how it's there. Logically, there is nothing that should be able to cast that shadow. Originally, I just wanted the plain silhouette of the logo, without the EPF insignia actually in it. It's just complete a solid black shadow, right? But from this shot, you can't really tell what it's supposed to be if it's just that. So I had the EPF, the actual letters in there as well, so you could tell what it's supposed to look like. I just thought it was cool. Originally, I was gonna have, excuse me, I think I was originally gonna have Agent pull out like a badge, like an EPF badge, and like flash it to Monobert and be like, "You're under arrest," or some stupid like that. But it was it was so stupid because it's like Monobert's like essentially already deactive at this point. So like there's no point in Agent even saying, or they weren't gonna say it, but they were just gonna flash their badge. There's no point in doing that. And another thing was like, where do they pull the badge out from? Like they don't have pockets, so they just pull it. Like, is it just like pinned to the back of their tie? Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. It was just an idea, and I thought it was cooler if they just stood with their flippers behind their back. This is front-facing Agent, but cool. And also, I want to call attention to this little slide here that the Puffles do. It's kind of stupid. They just kind of neum right in, but I think it looks cool. And yeah, picks that go hard. I remember working on this part because typically when I announce that, like, hey, an execution is coming out tomorrow, it's like it's not done yet when I do that. It's like I have gotten enough done that I know that by the time tomorrow comes, I can easily finish it by then. So I remember, I think this was like the last thing I needed to do. I think I decided, like, I'm going to get everything up to this ending part here done. So that way, that this is the last thing I need to do. And then once I have up to this done, I'm going to announce the execution is coming tomorrow. And that's because I know I can finish it by then. But I didn't have this done when I announced it. So I just remember, like, I think I was really tired, like, the night that I announced it. And I don't think I actually worked on it much, like, that actual night. So I just remember, like, I like, set an alarm for, like, 3 a.m. And I just remember getting up super early and just, like, finishing this whole CG at, like, the wee hours of the morning so I could post it at, like, 10 o'clock or noon that day. So I remember I, like, got up at, like, 3 a.m. and I worked on this for a few hours. And then I went right back to sleep and set an alarm for, like, 10 a.m. or something, whenever it was that I posted this. And then I just posted it, so yeah, that's just, sometimes this shit is made the day of, and it's crazy. Yeah, and I wanted to end the chapter with that. No post scene after that. I just thought it would just be super badass to just end with this execution. And we have the very sad end scene here where the and crab goes away. Very unfortunate, but to compensate, we've got surviving Puffles. So there you go. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this execution. I would say this is probably my favorite execution. Though honestly, like, I don't really consider this an execution. It technically is, right? Because it's Monobert's execution, if you want to be really technical about it, because he dies here and is reborn as Protobot. But it's so different to the other executions where it's like, those are about a penguin facing, dying in the most despairful way to them. Where it's like, this one is a bit different, and it's hard to compare it to the others, I feel. So typically, like, if I'm just talking about what I would consider to be the usual executions, I think Page's is still my favorite. But just overall, it's hard to not have this one as my favorite. It's really good. It's much better animated compared to all the ones before it, and it's an incredible plot twist. I can still look back at this execution and enjoy it. It was so long ago now that I don't really care about how much time I put into it, and it wasn't that hard to make compared to Chapter 5, so it's better than that one in my book, but that's probably just me. But yeah, I like this execution. That's about all I have to say about it. Though I guess just, like, one more thing to say is about, like, why I feel this execution is very special to me is because, like, well, two things actually. First of all, this plot twist here with the elite Puffle showing up, this was like one of the first story beats that I ever wrote down. Like the original outline I wrote for Penguinronpa was, you couldn't even call it an outline. It was a death order, and like it was the death order plus the Puffles show up in chapter 4. That was it. That was all I wrote at the very beginning. And like I kind of just like wrote the whole story around this moment here. That's not to say like the whole endgame plot revolves around this scene, but it's like every sort of part of the story was crafted specifically to make it work with this dumb twist, if that makes sense. So that's why it's important to me, because it's like it was the first twist that I was really excited about. The other reason this part is so special to me, I think, is because it sort of represents the end of an era to me, I feel. And there are pros and cons to that, I think, so it's, I don't want to get too into it, but like Insta-Rompas were massive in 2020. And like 2021, it was apparent like pretty much immediately that like the trend had sort of already started to die out a bit. But like they were so popular in 2020, and this was posted December 24th, 2020, and it was the last thing I posted before Chapter 5 started in March 2021, and like immediately I could tell like there was a difference in the reception of these posts between the end of Chapter 4 and the start of Chapter 5. Like immediately, like the whole atmosphere of the Insta-Rompa community just felt significantly different for some reason, and I can't quite pinpoint why. I don't know if any other creators felt that way at the time, but it was like immediately going into 2021, the Insta-Rompa scene just felt a little different. And it's really, I don't know, like just like the 2020 boom of Insta-Rompas, the late 2019 boom as well, which is, I kind of grouped those together. But like that boom had started to fade into 2021, and I felt like because I had posted this so close to the end of the year, and so many people in the community were excited about it, I just felt like, to me, this sort of felt like sort of a finale to that first 2020 era of Insta-Rompas, and I don't know, maybe that's a bit selfish to me, but that's just my perspective, because, obviously, how Penguinronpa is going is sort of, I'm obviously going to be seeing that the most, so of course that's going to be my perspective of it, but I don't know, it just, things felt a little different after this execution was posted, and like I said, there's pros and cons to that. I don't know. So this execution is just special to me, and that, I think, is about all I have to say about it. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a rambly mess this time. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for Chapter 6, because it is coming soon. Just probably not in December. Well, definitely not in December. Probably not January. So I'm leaning towards or something. What does or something mean? Heck if I know, man. But hopefully the soon part is not a lie. I'm trying. I promise. Goodbye.